now for your home team, the Lindale Eagles. Batting second, third base, Jake Powell. Batting 3 and 8, first base, Carson Duncan. Batting 4, second baseman, Ryan Betts. Batting fifth, number 11, the DH, Miles Steve. Batting sixth, number 7, center field, Jake Gerbo. Batting seventh, number 16.
Hello, everybody. Oh, here I am. Sorry, I couldn't hear myself. Good afternoon, everybody. Keith Whitman here from Woods Field on the campus of East Texas Baptist University here in Marshall, Texas. We have a beautiful night here. It's a little cloudier than it was last night, and we're about ready to get started. Got the national anthem coming up, and we'll head to the field for that. We'll be right back. And that's usually when you say play ball here at the ballpark. It's a beautiful night to play baseball at this beautiful field. It's game 2 between the Lindale Eagles and the Pleasant Grove Hawks. And last night, Pleasant Grove took the win 12-3 over Lindale. And tonight, Lindale looking to make a comeback and take it to a game 3. And Pleasant Grove trying to stop that and move on to the next round of the playoffs. But Lindale hoping to get that done tonight to take it on to tomorrow. And a lot of playoff action tonight, a lot last night in East Texas, and a lot tonight. Keith Whitman here, and I'm by myself tonight. I know during the playoffs you've had me with Brett. Brett is being the family man tonight, and a good on him for doing that. But I'm going to be here by myself. Rob isn't even here with me tonight, so I had to set up some cameras. And I'm going to do my best to make sure that I bring this playoff game to you the best of my ability. But I think the action on the field is going to do it for me, and it's going to be a good night for baseball here in Marshall, Texas. Lindale is going to be the home team for tonight, and on the mound is going to be Hudson LeGros. Hudson is a great little pitcher, not little. He stands at probably, and I'm guesstimating here, at about 6'4" as a sophomore for Lindale. He's 10-1 on the season with an ERA of 1.83. Definitely a star pitcher for the Eagles. I have watched him a couple of times this season play and pitches a very good game. Has a good breaking ball that really kind of drops off at the end. It's very hard and difficult to hit. On the other side, Hunter Rose is the pitcher for the Hawks, and he'll take the mound right now as, he'll take the mound later on in this inning and make sure that he can stop this Lindale team from advancing, and hopefully they'll get to go home and take a rest for the rest of the weekend. If you're watching on NETsn Live, we want to thank you, and if you're listening on our YouTube channel, NETsn Live, we want to thank you too. Go ahead and like and subscribe. If you're watching on NETsn Live, go ahead and go over to youtube.com/NETsn Live. Like and subscribe so you don't miss a minute of our East Texas action. Leading things off is going to be, is going to be, I believe, Brenton Clark. And Brenton Clark watches that first one go down for a ball, and we are started here at Marshall. So LeGros with the windup. Here's the pitch on the outside corner, and that's in there for a strike. So 1-1 is the count now. As LeGros looks in. And we have live coverage on NETsn Live. We have radio coverage on our YouTube channel. That's a fly ball into center field, and it's going to drop right in front of Curbo. Curbo dives, but doesn't get a chance to get it. It pops right in front of him, and that's going to be a double for Brenton Clark. He started the game off last night with a triple and gets extra bases again tonight to lead things off for the Hawks. So once again, just like last night, the Hawks have a runner on base to start the ball game. And once again, not the way that the Eagles want to start a game. Jared Halter, the pitcher from last night, steps into the batter's box with 1 on and no out. LeGros from the stretch now, checks the runner at second and brings the pitch. And squares around for a bunt, but doesn't get a good solid round on it, and it pops back to the net for strike 1. Both of these teams got here earlier this afternoon, but the college playoff or tournament, I'm guessing, was going on here at Woods Field, and it went into extra innings. I believe it went into 11 innings, and East Texas Baptist, I believe, ended up winning that game, but it was a little later warm-up for both of these teams. They were sitting in the buses for a little while before they could take the field. Halter watched that one go by for a ball, so 1-1 now the count. From the stretch, LeGros kicks the leg and brings the pitch home on the outside for a ball, so now 2-1. Brenton Clark does have some speed on him, so LeGros has to be careful to keep that ball close. Caleb Hart behind the plate tonight. Last night was the freshman, Delfert, but tonight you have the sophomore behind the plate in Caleb Hart. That's going to be 3-1. And now LeGros finds himself behind and going to have to pitch himself out of this one if he doesn't want to put 2 on the bases with nobody out. I have noticed in the past with LeGros, he starts in the first inning, gets a little bit behind, excuse me, and he does throw a ball there, so he will walk Halter, and that's 2 on now for the big bat of J.M. Long, the shortstop. But as I was saying, LeGros does often find himself in the, I believe this is the 3rd game I've seen him pitch, and he struggles in that first inning, but he does come back in the later innings, and he is tough once he gets that rhythm going. That's going to be in there, but low, says the umpire, and that's going to be a ball. And the Eagle faithful agree with me on that. That looked a lot like a strike. Different umpire behind the plate than last night. Last night's umpire had a awkward strike zone, sort of like a Funhouse Hall of Mirrors. You weren't quite sure what you were looking at when he got a strike. LeGros stepped off the rubber. Now he steps on from the stretch. Focusing on the batter now, not paying much attention to those runners. Trying to get that first out of the top of the first. From the stretch, and actually looks over and makes sure that Clark gets back to second. And once again looks in as Hart gives him the sign. From the stretch, LeGros checks second and brings it home. And a hit goes into right field between first and second and gets out. Runner being waved on home and over Hart. And a run comes in, and just like that, the Hawks are on the board with a base hit RBI. And actually, it's going to be a double. Well, it's going to be a base hit, not a double. It's a base hit with an extra base for J.M. Long. And an RBI for him as well. As the Hawks have one already in the books. A runner on second and third, nobody out still. As LeGros already showing struggles here in the top of the first. Here's the pitch. That's on the outside corner. Strike, says the umpire. Here's the pitch. That's on the outside as well, but a little bit too far. So it's going to be a ball. LeGros looks back as Martin, the catcher, steps out of the batter's box. Now he's back in, ready to go. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be fouled back out of play for a strike. 1-1. Excuse me, 1-2. And here comes the pitch. It's going to be low for a ball. So LeGros looks on. Still no outs. Count even at 2. And LeGros. And time is called as Cade Martin takes exception. He did this last night. He doesn't like sitting there waiting for a long time. Of course, I don't know what batter really does. But in a precarious position is LeGros trying to get out of this inning. That's going to be hit straight up the middle in the outfield in the center. Curbo is on it, but a run comes in. And the runner's being waved on home as Long makes it in, slides for a run. And that one gets in, so 2 runs back-to-back, and that makes 3 so far for the top of the first. Pardon me. And we have a courtesy runner coming in for the Hawks. Looks like number 20, I believe, Jamarian Richardson. He came in last night, and let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, he's got some wheels on him. So the pitcher, Hunter Rose, is going to be stepping in. And still nobody out for the Hawks. Here's the pitch. That's going straight back up the middle. And the same hit is going straight to Curbo. Curbo is there. And a base hit. So that base hit puts another one on. Buck Anderson, the designated hitter, stepping in. And looks like these Hawks are getting on this pitcher fast and early for LeGros. And LeGros is going to have to step up a little bit early and get on that rhythm that he gets later in the games. Steps off the rubber as his catcher, Caleb Hart, going to go have a conversation, see how his pitcher's doing. Try to calm him down a little bit. Tell him it's early in this game. No need to worry. And LeGros brings the pitch home. Here it comes. That's going to be low, says Mr. Umpire. So 1-0 is the call. As Anderson looks down the third base line, gets the call, and steps in and is ready to go. Here's the pitch. And that's outside for ball 2. Looked like it hit the outside corner, but umpire did not agree.
Third base umpire, he's called that last night.
So as you can hear, some of the Lindale fans not very happy with that. And here comes a pitch from LeGros. That's going to be hit, and that goes to Fleming. And off his glove, that's going to get out into the outfield. And that's going to load the bases. They're going to roll that an error. So an E6 is going to go down. And just like that, just here in the top of the first, the bases are loaded for Spencer Browning and the Hawks. And here's the pitch from LeGros. That's going to be inside and high. As Browning looked like he had to kind of get out of the way really quick on that. And be ball one. That one's going to be in there for ball two. A lot of frustrated fans right now. Now 2-0. And LeGros brings the pitch. And it's fouled back out of play. So that's going to be the first strike. And apparently that hit somebody's vehicle. I really, really hope it wasn't mine. But I do have good insurance. Just like my partner Brett said last night, we do need an insurance company as a sponsor. That would be a good opportunity to go. That broken window was brought to you by, and say your company's name. So, hey, if you own an insurance company, that'd be a good opportunity for you. That's going to be high and outside for a ball. So 3-1. Now the count to Spencer Browning. And he steps in ahead of the count with bases loaded and still nobody out. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be fouled off back out of play into the dugout of the Eagles. And that'll bring a full count. So this is really the first opportunity that LeGros has had to get the first out. So hoping he takes advantage of that. Here's the pitch. And that's fouled back as well. So Browning not going anywhere yet. And LeGros going to look in. Brings it home from the stretch. That's going to be down low. And that's going to be a walk. And that walk will bring in yet another run and make it 4 runs in the top of the first. And yet the bases are still loaded. And so I believe LeGros is just trying to learn the strike zone of the umpire and where it might be. Now, from my angle, I really can't tell you exactly how those are coming across. The fans, however, as you can tell, are trying to tell you as well as Ty Boozer steps into the batter's box. He takes a little time out real quick, steps out, and now steps back in as LeGros takes the high kick from the stretch and brings it across. That's about chin level. And ball one. So Boozer steps back in. And LeGros, here comes the pitch. That's a good pitch, but it's going to be hit into the outfield for a base hit. And a run's going to come in, and coach is going to hold up his runners there and keep the bases loaded. And another run comes in. And I do have keys to the game. I had a whole big graphic come up, but as I'm being by myself trying to get everything done, I didn't have an opportunity to bring them up. One of the keys to the game, I'm actually going to try to bring it up now that they're bringing. One of the keys to the game that I had actually for Pleasant Grove was a little saying, keep your eye clear and hit them where they ain't. A little Willie Keeler quote there. And they've been doing that. They have been hitting him where they ain't, so to speak, right in the gaps, right in the short spot of the outfields, and that has put them up 5-0 right now here in this ball game. Another big thing was their pitching, but we haven't even gotten to the pitching yet for Pleasant Grove. And another big key to the game is don't get overconfident. It's kind of hard to do when you're up 5-0 in the top of the first. But that was a little bit of my keys to the game to get this thing going. But, yeah, the hit them where they ain't thing was one of the things I had thought about today, and they've already started doing that so far. So a base hit for Boozer. And now Jace Elrod, number 9 hitter, and bases are still loaded, and the top of the lineup is on deck. That's a hit out of play for foul. And going to be a strike. And there's a hit. Going to go foul as well.
Number 2, Brandon Clark.
So a run will come in on that. I apologize. I was looking at something, so I don't really know what happened. I think it was going to be a hit by pitch. And so a runner goes and a run comes in. And I believe that was a hit by pitch. And that's going to be fouled back. And we're back at the top of the lineup for Britton Clark. So LeGros from the stretch. Still bases loaded and nobody out. 0-1 the count. And that one's going to be a high fly ball into right field. And Wagner is back right in front of the warning track, makes the catch. And all the runners from second and third are going to tag up, and the sacrifice fly is going to work as Spencer Browning comes in from third and gets another run across, and the lead swells to 7. So now, Jarrett Halter, who walked his last time up, is there. Runners at the corners. And there's the pitch. And Halter squares around to bunt. And he hit the ball twice as it bounced on the ground and popped back up. So Halter will head back. Everybody will have to reset. And Halter steps back in. The frustration mounting on the Lindale fan side. And LeGros steps off the rubber. And Halter steps out. And he'll take a couple of practice swings again. And now steps back in. And throws, oh, no, makes a move over to third, does LeGros, and tries to catch the runner at first, but unable to catch him. And LeGros ready from the stretch. Here's the pitch. That's going to be low. And it's 1-1. And if you're just joining us, it's still the top of the first, 7-0, as Pleasant Grove is leading. Runners on the corners, as that one is called a strike. And I think that's actually the first called strike in a while, which is why the Lindale faithful is cheering so loud. So 1-2 now the count. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a hit by pitch as well. And so Halter will make his way down to first base, and that'll load the bases up yet again. So the base is loaded, 1 out. And J.M. Long will step in, the left-hander. He had a base hit and with an RBI earlier in this inning. And we'll see what he can do from the stretch, or excuse me, from the windup. And that's going to be hit on the left field. That's going to go down the line, and it looks like it's going to stay fair as it goes into the left field corner. And 1 run comes, 2 run comes, and Jared Halter is going to hold up at third. And it's going to be a stand-up RBI double for J.M. Long. And 2 more runs come across as the Hawks of Pleasant Grove now stretch that 7-run lead into a 9-run lead. And we're still in the top of the first and only 1 out for the Pleasant Grove Hawks. And the coach is going to come out, and I believe there is a distinct possibility we might have a pitching change. And we do. LeGros is getting pulled this early in the game. So that was the last of LeGros. And we're going to see who they're going to bring in. And do that pitching change here. Pardon me. LeGros is going to head out into left field now. And it looks like, I believe Luke Wagner is going to be the new pitcher here for the Eagles. Yep, number 6, Luke Wagner is going to be the new pitcher. Luke Wagner is 3-0 on the season. He has a 0.57 ERA and 2 saves under his belt. He is used to coming in later in games, not in the top of the first. So he's going to come in and try to stop the bleeding here for the Eagles. And we'll see what changes. I imagine that Ty McCoy is going to head over to right field, and Luke Wagner is going to head, or excuse me, Hudson LeGros is going to head out to left field. So that's a unfortunate event here. Hudson LeGros is a phenomenal pitcher, and if you're new and you're just now starting to watch, or you haven't seen Hudson LeGros pitch before, don't judge this book by its cover. This is not normally how Hudson LeGros pitches. He is a phenomenal pitcher. He is just a sophomore, which scares me because he can only go up from here. And so I'm going to pull my hat off to him. This was just a bad game. So hopefully Mr. Wagner, Luke Wagner can come in and get them out of this top of the inning, and the Eagles can come in and get their bats working and get things going. But I don't want to diminish what Hudson LeGros has done during this season with a 10-1 record and a 1.83 ERA is not anything to hang your head low about at all. So it looks like, yeah, Ty McCoy is going to head out into right field, I believe. Still trying to figure that out. And if I'm wrong, I'll figure it out at some point in time. Usually I have somebody next to me to tell me I'm wrong all the time. It's either my wife or Brett, depending on where I am, or my daughter. So I'm surrounded by people that tell me I'm wrong all the time. But Luke Wagner is now on the mound, and he's going to hit get his first pitch there, and it's going to go in for a strike as Cade Martin, who is going to watch that one go by for a strike. Now Wagner, a little bit different speed than LeGros, so they're going to have to time it a little bit different. That's going to be back. And now for the first time in the ball game, a Pleasant Grove Hawk batter is finding themselves behind. So Wagner with the pitch. Here it comes, and that's going to be a high sky fly ball. It's going to be floating over into territory foul, and it's going to drop foul right in front of Ryan Betts. Ryan Betts raced from the second base position all the way into right field foul territory to try to get that one and couldn't make it. Carson Plunkett, the first baseman, was right there with him. And Ty McCoy came over there as well. But no luck and no out, but 2 strikes. And so Martin steps in again. And Wagner from the stretch, here's the pitch. And that nice little breaking ball. And he did do a little check swing there, and the first base umpire said he went around. So that's going to be strike 3, and we got a strikeout. And the second out of the inning. And a nice little breaking ball there for Luke Wagner, a little curveball. Kind of confuses Cade Martin a little bit. And the umpire said he went around. Hunter Rose watches his first pitch go. And a good job by Caleb Hart as that one kind of bounced in front of the home plate for a ball. So it's 1-0. And that's going to be bounced as well. And a great job again as Caleb Hart kind of sacrificing his left arm on that. I heard it all the way up here. Kind of bounced and hit him in the left bicep. So he'll have a bruise there in the morning, but 2-0 now the count. And here's the pitch. That's another one on the outside. So Wagner did a great job with Cade Martin, but he's been a little bit out of control on this one. Pardon me. From the stretch. And that one's high for ball 4, so now the bases are loaded again. So after the strikeout, Wagner kind of got a little off his game there. And the base is now loaded.
Number 23, Buck Anderson.
So Buck Anderson, the designated hitter, is going to step in with the bases loaded and 2 out. Anderson got on by an error the last time. That's in there for a strike on the inside corner. Bounced off Hart's glove. But it did hit enough square footage of the glove to stay in front of Hart and not allow any runners to come home. 0-1 the count. Wagner not paying much attention to any of the runners. Focusing on that plate, and a good breaking ball makes Buck Anderson go fishing. And he didn't pull anything up on that line, so strike 2. And Anderson waits for the pitch, and that one's on the inside, a little too far this time. So Wagner thought he had him on that, but it didn't cut. I think he was looking for that breaking ball across, but didn't put enough on it or let go a little too early, and it didn't break like he wanted it to. But Wagner going to try again, although he steps off, didn't like what he saw, and he's going to try again. Steps on. Anderson waits. Here's the pitch. Inside again, too far. Wagner looking over to the dugout. getting some direction from his coach. And he'll look into his catcher, get the sign. Taking a little bit long. There he goes. Finds what he likes. From the stretch, kicks the leg, and here's the pitch. That one's going to be inside. Again, it gets away from Hart, and that one goes all the way back to the backstop and brings a runner in. So another run comes up, and that swells the lead for the Hawks to 10 now. And not really wanted what the Eagles wanted. That, as Brett would say, that one bounced off the trampoline of a home plate there. Here's the pitch. And swing, but fouled back. So Anderson's going to stay alive. Wagner takes a look in. Trying to get this last out. That's going to go down low, and once again, the bases are loaded. Spencer Browning is going to step in.
Number 19, Spencer Browning.
And Browning walked earlier in the inning. Wagner with the pitch. High fly ball going to be out of play right behind. Luckily, I'm inside. So if that hits above us, it's going to hit a roof. So I'm lucky on that. But they get a strike. And Wagner throws that. And that one breaks off in. That was a good curveball. And it actually makes Browning do a little 180 spin, but that came across for a strike, says the umpire. So 0-2 now the count. And Wagner hoping to get this last strike to get the Eagles out of this top of the first. And here's the pitch. Outside. That one was way outside. Pardon me. And Wagner looks in again. Waits a little longer and time is called. I was wondering if that was going to happen. Wagner taking a long time every once in a while to look in. Trying to get the right pitch. Wanting to get out of this inning. I know really, really bad, I'm sure. 10 runs already in this inning. Here's the pitch. And that one drops, but no, says the umpire. And that evens the count at 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Browning. The base is loaded and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And that one's going to be low. Good stop by Hart. From the stretch. Wagner with the pitch. And that's going to be right up the middle. Oh, and Wagner misses it. And a run comes in. And that was straight back up the middle. It was a little tumbler of a ball. Really wasn't very hard hit at all. It was off the end of the bat of Browning. And it's going to end up being an E1. And Wagner just kind of made a nonchalant run off the mound. And it rolled right past him. And so this inning is still going, this top of the inning. That's going to be in there for a strike. So the base is still loaded. 2 outs. And 11 runs scored. Good job by Hart to keep that in front. That's going to be inside for a ball. We do have an update on some scores tonight. I'm going to try to get that for you. This is a softball update as Como Picton has beaten Groveton tonight out of White House 5-2. That's a one-and-done play, or one-and-done game. And Groveton, or Como-Picton, is going to advance on to the regional finals. And the winner of the Hawkins-Shelbyville match is going to be the one that will play them in the next. That's going to be a high fly ball. Not a high fly ball, a high ball over the glove. And a run comes in. An errant throw by Hart over Wagner's glove. But no run comes in there. So a wild pitch scores a run, and an almost wild throw back to the home plate by the catcher might have scored another one, but the runner was told to stay. So that expands the lead to 12, and it's a 3-1 count at the plate for Boozer. That's going to bounce, and the ball gets away, and Hart just kind of nonchalantly goes back on that, and another run comes in. And I'm not going to talk, I've seen Lindale play. This is not their best, but I feel that they've kind of just given up. And I don't want to say that because they're a dang good baseball team, and it's so early in the game. But, that ball gets past Hart, and he just kind of starts walking and then realizes, I guess, that the runner's coming down from third. But now we have runners at the corner, still 2 outs. The number 9 batter is at the plate, and once again on deck is the top of the lineup, threatening to go around for a third time here, and we're still in the top of the first. So I'm waiting on something. I'm hoping that a good strikeout here or a good play on the infield, something can spark these Eagles. It's a high fly ball that's going to be in foul territory, but it is playable for Powell, and he's going to make the catch, and that's going to stop the proverbial bleeding, and it has been a bloodfest here in the top of the first as 13 runs come through for the Hawks, and they go through the batting order fully twice. Jace Elrod is the number 9 batter, and they went through twice. So I am hoping that the Eagles can come up to bat on the bottom of the first here and make something happen and get some things going, get a fire lit underneath them, and get something. But I tell you what, we're going to take a break because that was a long top of the inning, and we'll be right back. You're watching Playoff Baseball on NETsn.
Have you seen a bone, joint, work, or sports injury? Problems with mobility or movement? Suffer with pain? Contact Azalea Orthopedics. Our specialists serve patients across East Texas. For proven, trusted medical care, you have a choice. Demand Azalea.
And we are back. And the bottom of the first now, and Lindale gets their opportunity to get things going. And leading things off for the Eagles is going to be Caden Fleming. Pardon me. As Caden Fleming, Jake Powell is going to be on deck Rose Hunter is next up on the mound there, and he throws the first pitch for a strike. And here's a pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 2. So Fleming steps in, ready to go. The left-hander, high fly ball into left field, but not as far back as it looked. And Jace Elrod is underneath that one
Number 9, Jake Powell.
for out number 1. So 1 away, and Jake Powell is going to step in. And that's going to be down for a ball. Ball 1. And that's in there for a strike by Hunter Rose. So 1-1 now the count to Powell. And a hit. That's over to a JM long and short. A good rocket of an arm over to Ty Boozer for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down so far. And those bats just hadn't gotten going yet. As Carson Plunkett now steps up.
Carson Plunkett.
And Plunkett ready to go. Hunter. As Rose throws that one, it's going to be a ball. So 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 1. Plunkett looks down third base line, gets the sign, steps in, ready to go. And here's the pitch. That's fouled off back for strike 2. 1-2 now the count. And here's the pitch from Rose. So that's going to go down the first base line, and Boozer is just going to wait on it and scoop it up lightly, tag the bag, and that's going to be it. 1, 2, 3, go Lindale as a ground out down to first ends that one. So as quick as they walked up, they walked out, and we're through 1. So we're going to take another little break here as we're going to head to the second inning. Today's game is brought to you by Azalea Orthopedics. We'll be right back. And we are back at Woods Field for the top of the second. And back at the top of the lineup, Brenton Clark is stepping in. Here's the pitch. Wagner back on the mound for the Eagles. Pardon me. And Clark had a double and a base hit, I believe, in the first inning. That's going to be high for a ball, so now 2-0. And here is the pitch from Wagner. In there for a strike, says Mr. Umpire. So now 2-1. In there for a strike. So 2-2 now the count. And Wagner doing a pretty good job so far. Pardon me. Outside corner, but no, says Mr. Umpire. So 3-2 now the count, and it's full to Brenton Clark. That's going to be a high fly ball. Going to go into right field. Ty McCoy underneath. On the catch. Brings it in for out number 1. So a little bit different inning this time as an out comes quickly for the Eagles. So Jared Halter is going to come in. He had a walk and a hit by pitch back in the first. And gets that one in. Pardon me, gets that one in for a strike. So 0-1 now to Halter. Here's a pitch. Swung on and missed. And that's strike number 2. So Wagner got a little bit of a pace going on here. J.M. Long on deck for the Hawks. Here's a pitch. And a good breaking ball, but low. And no strike, says Mr. Umpire. So 1-2 is now the count. If you're just joining us, the Hawks had a 13-run top of the first. And that's your score right now. That one, however, is going to break over the home plate for a strike. And Jared Halter is going to take that long walk back to the dugout with a strikeout underneath his belt. J.M. Long is going to step in. He has a base hit, RBI, off of the first inning. And that's going to bounce about 3 feet in front of home plate. So a breaking ball that was released a little bit too late by Wagner. Wagner gets ready. Here's the pitch. That's a great pitch right there. So 1-1 now the count. Two and one. Long. Taking a long look and steps out. Too long for him. That's what Wagner was taking. Sorry, the dad jokes are just coming easy on that one. Here's the pitch by Wagner, and that's going to bounce in front of the plate again. A little bit humid out there. Wagner's wiping his hands on his pants, so I'm sure there's a little bit of sweat coming down. And a good pitch there, and that'll make the count full now at 3-2. Wagner. Here's the kick of the leg and the pitch. That's going to be out of play. Foul ball. So the count remains. So as I was saying a little bit earlier, got a lot of big games tonight in baseball. Frankston is playing Harleton. Actually, that's going to be tomorrow. They played last night. It's fouled off. They played last night as Harleton took that game 1. Emory Rains, is playing Gunter. Rains lost last night, and they're playing tonight. The winner of that one is going to play Tatum. It's Tatum won. That one was fouled off by Long, so this is going to continue here. But Tatum beat Atlanta in their in their best of 3 series. So Tatum already advances to the regional finals. Rains looking to win tonight to advance to a 3rd game tomorrow. Excuse me, they'll play their 3rd game tonight. Sorry about that. They're going to play 30 minutes after if Rains wins. That's going to be ball 4. And Long is going to take that long stroll down to first base. And Cade Martin, the catcher, is going to step in. So Wagner gets set, checks the runner at first, and brings the pitch. That's going to bounce in front, and the runner's going to go as Long is going to get in there easy as no play is going to be tried there at second. So 1-0 with that pitch being a ball. And time is called. And looks like coach is going to have a conversation with his catcher there, Cade Martin, the batter. And the coach is going to have a conversation with Hart as well, the catcher for the Eagles. And we're back to playing here. Wagner sets in. 1-0 the count, 2 out, 1 on. That's right down the middle for a strike as you watch that one just go. And I don't know if that was actually a planned watch as coach over there at third base kind of chuckle a little bit. Wagner gets set. Checks the runner at second and brings the pitch. That's going to be low for a ball. And 2-1. And now here comes the pitch home from Wagner. That's going to be inside, but a strike by the umpire. And a lot of chatter from the fans. Frustration, I'm sure, is setting in. 2-2 now the count. And time is now called as Martin steps out. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs and a runner at second base. So a lot of 2s there. Wagner checks second, brings it home. Going to be high for a ball, so now full count.
Come on, Luke, let's go, baby. 1 strike, you got it, baby.
And White House is playing Lucas Lovejoy in Lovejoy tonight. They won last night 2-1. If they win this one, they'll be playing the winner of Frisco Wakeland and Mesquite Poteet series. Wakeland won the first game of that one. They'll play their second tomorrow. That throw is going to be to nobody as Wagner tried to throw the runner at second, but nobody was on the bag. So the errors just rack up there. And if my buddy was here, we'd be talking about the mental mistakes causing some issues. That's going to be a hit. That's going to go into left center. That's going to drop for a base hit all the way to the wall. and bounces off. 1 run comes to score, and a stand-up RBI double. I say a stand-up, but I believe Mr. Martin wanted to slide. He slides into second. But also a run comes to score, and that advances it to a 14-run lead for the Hawks. Jamarian Richardson's going to come in and courtesy run. There's a difference. Courtesy run for the catcher, Cade Martin, as Hunter Rose steps in to the batter's box. And a time on the field. Caleb Hart's going to go have a heart-to-heart with Luke Wagner. And that was a short conversation. Not even going to attempt to try to figure out what that conversation was. But we're ready to play some baseball here. Wagner looks in for the sign, gets set, checks the runner, and brings the pitch home. That's going to be in there for a strike. Wagner gets set, checks the runner at second. And Richardson takes a few. That's a foul tip on a half-hearted swing. I don't think he wanted to go all the way through, but inertia has a way of doing that to you. And he gets through there. So 0-2 is the count. A good opportunity for Wagner to get a good pitch in here to end this inning. And here's the pitch. High for a ball. So 1-2. Wagner taking a long time looking in on that. But Rose just going to be patient and wait for it. Here comes the pitch. That's going to be down and inside. Hart can't find it. Finally does, but I looked up. Richardson was already at third. I didn't know he was going. I was watching where the ball was going. That just shows you how fast the courtesy runner Jamarian Richardson, who's a freshman, by the way, is. He made it there really fast. So now there's a runner on third. And a high fly ball. It's going to be in an infield there. Ryan Betts is going to call everybody off. Just out into the right field grass. And that's going to be out number 3. But a run does come and score. And the Hawks go from a 13-run lead to a 14-run lead here in the top of the second. Lindale will have another opportunity in just a minute. We're going to talk a little bit about some baseball going around. I've been doing that already, but Frankston and Harleton, like I said earlier, they'll be playing tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get a winner on that one. They'll play, the winner of that series will play Garrison. They've already advanced. Rains, we talked about that one. White Oak and Harmony are playing tonight, and the winner of that series is going to play the winner of the Boyd Scurry Rosser series that's starting today. That started today. And at the point of when I did this list, I didn't know who had won that game yet. But their second game will be played tomorrow. Orangefield and Central Heights. And the reason I did that one is Central Heights is one of the teams we did broadcast this season. They are a good team there in the Nacogdoches area. And they're playing in a series. Central Heights took the first game 13-6. They play tomorrow in their second game. And they'll be taking a travel to Jasper. And then Waxahachie and Salina. Now that game is a big one to watch here because the winner of this series is going to play the winner of that series. And Salina took the first one 9-0 last night. Rose takes a pitch there and throws it in for Betts. Betts swings on it and misses for the first strike. So 0-1 the count. Here comes the lefty with the pitch there. A little outside and low. And now the count is 1-1. 14-0 here in the bottom of the second. That's an inside pitch. Almost hit Betts. He had to take a little turn to get out of the way. So now 2-1. And that's going to be ball 4. So the Eagles have their first base runner of the night off a walk as Ryan Betts takes his way down there. Designated hitter Miles Keith is going to step in. A big game to watch over in Carthage tonight is the Carthage Bulldogs against the Bullard Panthers. It's a big series. The winner of that one's going to play China Spring in the regional final.
Come on, Miles, let's go.
Or regional semifinal, excuse me. That first pitch was swung on and missed by Keith. So he's down 0-1 with a runner on first. Rose looking over at first. And we have time called by the umpire on that one. But we'll keep an eye on the Carthage and Bullard game, as well as the Waxahachie and Salina game, as it started a little bit before ours. That's going to be low and outside for a ball. Another big one to watch for our area, Lufkin Hudson and Spring Hill. And the winner of that one is going to play the winner of the Taylor Salado game. That's going to be down low. A good throw over to first by Martin, but it was a little bit high, and Boozer had to get it up there to save it. And Longview and Hallsville are playing tonight in Hallsville. Or playing, excuse me, last night. They're playing tomorrow in their game 2. That pitch was in there by Rose for a strike. So 2-2 is now the count. And the winner of the Longview-Hallsville matchup is going to play Frisco Liberty or Frisco Reedy. That pitch is going to be swung on and missed for a strike and a strike out, as Miles Keith will head back to the dugout and have the first out of the inning for the Eagles. Jake Kerbo is going to step in. He has yet to be at bat this game. I'm glad I said Frisco correctly earlier. I was talking to Brett and I said Frisky. Little humor there on the time here. I'm just talking to myself as we go here. On that pitch, it was outside for a ball. That's swung on and missed by Kerbo. So 1-1 the count. On the softball side of things for our area, Raines is playing hooks for game 2 tonight. They took game 1, Raines did, in the 3-game series. They'll play Whitesboro for the regional finals. That's in there for a strike, so it's going to be 1 ball and 2 strikes. And talking about Bullard, Bullard is playing Robinson tonight. They're up 1-0 in the series, and they're going to play the winner of the Liberty versus Burnett series for the regional finals. That swung on and missed as well for a strikeout. So 2 strikeouts by Rose. And now Hudson LeGros is going to step in. So after the walk at the first batter, Rose has put 2 strikeouts underneath him. And doesn't look like he's going to stop anytime soon. Rose checks first. Kicks the leg, and here's the pitch. That's going to be foul ball outside. Ryder actually hit right above me. So still a runner on first. No balls and 1 strike to LeGros. And 2 outs for the Eagles. Here comes the throw over to first, not in time. And Boozer had to kind of stumble over Betts there. As Rose, once again, checks the runner at first, but he's going to bring this one home. And that's going to be outside in a planned kind of throw out there to catch Betts. Excuse me. But didn't he didn't fall for it over there, got back in time. But a good pitch out move there to try to get Betts. That's going to be a fly ball back as well.
Let's go, Hud. Come on, baby.
Out of play. So that's going to take us to a 1-2 count for LeGros. And here's the pitch. That's a breaking ball right over the plate, but no call by the umpire. And that looked good from my vantage point.
Stay alive, Hud. Let's go, baby.
And that one's fouled back as well, so LeGros is going to stay alive. I want to thank you again for watching and listening tonight. By myself, so the cameras and all the fun stuff that we usually do in the playoffs is not here, but I do appreciate you for sticking with us and watching on NETsn Live and listening to us on our YouTube channel. Here's a pitch. Going to be outside for another ball, so that'll bring the count full. And while you're watching and listening, while you're listening on our YouTube channel, go ahead and like and subscribe. That way you won't miss any of our good Northeast Texas sports content. And if you're on NETsn Live watching, go ahead and scoot on over to youtube.com/NETsn Live and go ahead and like and subscribe. Betts is going to take off on that foul, but he's going to have to head on back to first and reset. As LeGros doesn't look like he wants to go anywhere just yet. The count remains 3-2. Here's the pitch, and he's going to hit that one out into the outfield. That's going to be a base hit. Betts is going to turn, try to go to 3, but he might get, yep, he's going to get picked off. That was a good throw by Brenton Clark in the center field. He was there. And Betts just didn't turn very fast on that second base corner there and got thrown out at third for out number 3. So it's going to be a base hit for LeGros. But Betts is going to get caught trying to make it all the way to third, and that's going to be the end of 2 here at Woods Field on the campus of East Texas Baptist University. So we're going to take a short break here while the two teams kind of change places, and we'll be right back. We're glad that you're watching and listening. Don't go away. We'll be right back. And we're back at Woods Field for the top of the third. Buck Anderson, the designated hitter, is going to start things off as Wagner puts that one on the outside. It's going to go past Hart. And it's going to be a ball 1. If you are listening on our YouTube channel, go ahead and chat with us. Let us know where you're listening from. We're always glad to hear from our listeners and our watchers. If you're watching on NETsn Live, shoot over to youtube.com/NETsn Live and let us know where you're watching from. That one's going to be down low, and so now it's going to be 3-0. And that's in there for a strike. Anderson thought it was a ball, so he was heading on over to first, but umpire kind of caught him on it. Told him he needed to stay put. Here's a pitch. That's going to be high ball 4, though. And now Anderson can head over to first base. And we got a base runner. And we have time on the field. Looks like we're going to have another pitching change here. And I'm trying to see who it is. I believe it's going to be, trying to look here. I'll let you know as soon as I can. Huh. I don't have that player. Okay, that's a different number than we have. But that's going to be Caden Fleming. He pitched last night. So I apologize for that. So Caden Fleming is going to take over the duties of pitching. And I do have a score update. The final score for the Salina Bobcats and the Waxahachie team is going to be Salina 14 and Waxahachie 4. So the winner of this series, which at the moment looks like it's going to be Pleasant Grove. But, hey, I've seen stranger things happen. And Lindale has definitely got the team ability to come back. But at this moment, it looks like Pleasant Grove could be playing Salina, but whoever the winner of this series is going to play Salina in the regional quarterfinals or the regional semifinals next week. But again, like I said earlier, I have seen stranger things happen, and when it comes to baseball. So Spencer Browning is going to step in against Fleming. And see what we can find out here. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be fouled out. But that was a heck of a rip. And strike one. Fleming from the stretch outside for ball one, excuse me. And 1-1. Now the count. So it looks like a final from Carthage tonight as Bullard pulls off the victory 3-2. And it looks like that series, that's a high inside pitch by Fleming. So it looks like that series is going to go to a game 3. Here's the pitch. And it's going to be outside for a ball, so 3-1 now the count. But yeah, so Bullard is going to go to Bullard and Carthage there is going to go to a game 3 tomorrow, I believe. I'm going to check that out, make sure they're not playing another one tonight. Nope, they're going to play tomorrow in Lufkin at 3 o'clock on that game 3 because Carthage took yesterday 7-5. Bullard took today 3-2. And then tomorrow, they're going to be in Lufkin for the game 3. So a good series there against Bullard and Carthage. 3-2 now, or 3-2 now the count, as that last pitch was a strike. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, but umpire says it was tipped. So he's going to stay alive. And here's the pitch from Fleming. That's going to catch the outside corner and rung him up. Great job by Fleming coming off the outfield to the mound and striking out the first batter he sees. And now Ty Boozer is going to step in. And see what he can do with one on and one out. And here's the pitch. That's going to be outside for a ball. And that's in there, strike one. So 1-1 now the count. And here's the pitch. In there for a strike. So 1-2 now the count. That was a interestingly low strike, but I'm not going to argue. Strike calls by themselves have been few and far between for this umpire for both teams. Swung on and missed. And back-to-back putouts by Caden Fleming.
Number 6, Jace Elrod.
And now Jace Elrod is going to come up and see what he can do. And here's the pitch. That's going to be in there for a strike on the outside corner. Looked a little low, but it might have been pretty good. I'm up high here in the press box. Here's the pitch. That's going to be hit. That's going to go straight into center field, but it's going to drop in front of Kerbo. And the runners are going to stay where they are, first and second, but a base hit for Elrod, and that's going to bring Britton Clark to the plate. So after back-to-back strikeouts,
Number 2, Britton Clark.
Fleming will now meet the top of the lineup for the Hawks. And that's no easy feat. As Hart has a conversation with Fleming. Kind of get everyone on the same page here. Fleming, from the stretch, takes a look in. He'll kick the leg, and here's the pitch. High and outside for a ball. Checks the runner at second. Here's the pitch again. And that's going to be another high. So 2 balls and no strikes. Runners on first and second and 2 outs for the Hawks. Fleming with a long, hard look into his catcher. Checks the runner at second. And here comes the pitch. That's a good breaking ball right over the center of the plate for strike one. And time is going to be called. So gameplay has been an hour and a half so far, and we are just in the top of the third. Your score is 14-0 as the Hawks, Pleasant Grove, had a 13-run top of the first, and 1 run in the second. We are in the top of the third. That's going to be on the outside. No call, though, by the umpire. It was a little bit further outside than normal. So 3-1 now the count. And here's the pitch. That's going to be inside for ball 4. So that'll load the bases. And that is not an unusual thing, as we've done that almost every inning. of this ball game. Jared Halter, he's walked, got hit by a pitch, and struck out so far in this ball game. And that's going to be a fly ball into left field. And it's going to get shallow, and it's going to drop in between. It's going to drop in between LeGros and Fleming. Well, correction, it's not going to be Fleming anymore. It's probably going to be Wagner. And that's going to be an error on who? I'm not quite sure who they're going to call that on. I would call it on your shortstop. But 2 runs are going to score, and that's going to put the 15-run rule in place. The 10-run rule was already there, but a 15-run rule is in place. Now, I believe that there's still a 15-run rule in the playoffs, and that's 15 runs after 4 innings, 10 after 5. Runners on second and third, and that's a swung on and missed by J.M. Long. He's had a base hit, RBI, so far in this ball game. Here's the pitch. That's straight down the middle. Not really sure what Long was waiting on. I have a bad feeling that Fleming does not want to do that pitch again. As Long, if he connects on that, it might not land for a while. Here comes the pitch. That one's going to be hit, but it's going to go trickle down over to the Pleasant Grove dugout for a foul. So the count still remains 0-2. I will say there's not as much chatter tonight from either dugout. Obviously not the Lindale dugout, but the Pleasant Grove dugout is not as vocal as they were last night. The fans are. That's going to be swung on and missed for strike 3. And the side retires, but not before 2 runs go across. And the Hawks advance their lead to 16 and to nothing over the Lindale Eagles. We're going to head to the bottom of the second. And you're watching playoff baseball here in East Texas. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Have you sustained a bone, joint, work, or sports injury? Problems with mobility or movement? Suffer with pain? Contact Azalea Orthopedics. Our specialists serve patients across East Texas. For proven, trusted medical care, you have a choice. Demand Azalea.
The Northeast Texas Sports Network is dedicated on delivering the most entertaining sports broadcasts in East Texas. And if you're interested in having your next sporting event streamed live, visit us online at NETsn.live.
And we are back here at Woodsfield, bottom of the third. Ty McCoy going to lead things off, and he'll take that first one with a swing and a miss for strike 1. We're glad that you're still with us. Another swing and a miss for a strike. And that's going to be strike 2. If you're watching on NETsn Live, shoot on over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/NETsn Live, and like and subscribe. And if you're listening, that's going to be hit straight up the middle. And it looks like Halter is going to be there. Throw across the body and gets it in time to Boozer. And a good play by Jarrett Halter. Kind of an off-balance throw there. But it is in time. And that's going to be out number 1. So Luke Wagner is now going to step in. And that's going to be in, and looked like it might have hit him, but I guess it didn't. Almost did, though, so 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. That one inside again, and both those pitches were fastballs and looked like it was directed right at him, but I don't know why it would be. However, pardon me. And Rose steps off. Didn't like what he saw. And steps back in. Here's the windup, and here's the pitch. That's going to be on the outside, other side. And Martin tries to frame it, but didn't really go the way he wanted it to, so 3-0 now with the count. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a high fly ball. It's going to be playable by Halter. Halter calls everybody off as he is just inside the right field grass. And it's going to be out number 2. Caden Fleming's going to step in. See if he can get something started here with 2 outs and nobody on here in the bottom of the 3rd. Here's the pitch by Rose. That's going to be outside for a ball. And here's pitch number 2. That's inside. Good swing on, but miss by Fleming. And now 1-1's the count. And another swung on and miss for strike 2. 1-2 now the count. 2 outs, nobody on. And Fleming is getting some grip on the bat there. Steps in. And Rose doesn't waste time. Brings the pitch. It's a good little breaking ball out on the outside corner. And struck him out for out number 3. And 3 up, 3 down go the Eagles. And we're on to the 4th inning. So that was a quick little half inning there. 16-0 is your score here in Marshall on the campus of East Texas Baptist University at a beautiful, beautiful Woods Field. We had a threat of a little bit of weather earlier in the day, but from what I can tell, doesn't look like anything's coming in. There's no wind. Looking at the flags over right field, so I don't believe that's going to be a factor during the game time anyway, maybe on the drive home, but as of right now, looks like we are good to go for the remainder of the game. So the possibility of this being the last inning for this series is in the air. We'll see what happens. The 15-run rule, if it is in effect, it will be done at the end of this next inning. But we will see what happens. We're going to take a little short break and let my voice rest a little bit. When you're by yourself, you kind of talk all the time. I don't have Brett to kind of shoot over to. So anyway, I'll be right back. Don't go away. And like and subscribe. Chat us up on our chat line. We'll be right back.
Have you seen a bone, joint, work, or sports injury? Problems with mobility or movement? Suffer with pain? Contact Azalea Orthopedics. Our specialists serve patients across East Texas. For proven, trusted medical care, you have a choice. Demand Azalea.
And we're back for the top of the fourth inning. Helps if I change the scoreboard on the screen for you guys, huh? Cade Martin is going to lead things off for the Hawks. And Fleming is going to bring the first pitch. That's going to be fouled back for strike one. Swung on and missed, strike two. So two good pitches. Fleming has come in and done actually a fabulous job over the last few innings. Really, other than the 2 runs last inning, he really hasn't amounted much, but a good hit right out into center field as I say all that. And Martin gets on base. And now Hunter Rose is going to step in with a runner on first and nobody out. Left-hander waits the pitch from the right-hander. And here it is. And that's going to be hit down the first base line. And foul ball, says the umpire. So Martin will have to reset back there on first. Here we go. Fleming checks the first. And a high fly ball into left field. LeGros awaits it and makes the catch for out number one. Takes about 4 steps in. Good job by the outfielder there.
Number 23, Buck Anderson.
Buck Anderson, designated hitter. Up to the plate. There's the pitch. It's going to be over the plate, but no strike called. Here's the pitch. And that one's going to be on the outside for ball 2. And here's the pitch, and that's going to be high for ball 3. So 3-0 the count. 1 on. And 1 out. A very quiet crowd here tonight. Definitely not as rowdy as it was last night. That's going to be inside for ball 4. So Buck Anderson, will take his base. And Spencer Browning will step in. So runners at first and second. 1 out. And the third baseman's going to step in. Caleb Hart's going to walk out, have a talk with Fleming. Pardon me. And I don't know if that was so much a few words as a conversation. And time is called as Fleming just took a little bit too long. Browning steps in. And here's the pitch. That's going to be inside. And 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be hit by pitch. That's going to hit Browning on the hand, looked like. And once again, for the 4th inning in a row, we have bases loaded. And Ty Boozer for the Hawks, first baseman, will step up with bases loaded and 1 out. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be hit by pitch, and that's going to bring a run in. So Coach is going to have to come out and, yeah, he is. I was going to say, Coach is going to have to come out and have a conversation with his pitcher. And it's back-to-back hit by pitch. And we're going to have another pitching change. So, tell you what, while we're doing that, I'm going to just take a really short break here. We'll be right back.
Have you sustained a bone, joint, work, or sports injury? Problems with mobility or movement? Suffer with pain? Contact Azalea Orthopedics. Our specialists serve patients across East Texas. For proven, trusted medical care, you have a choice. Demand Azalea.
Jake Powell is the new pitcher for the Eagles. So with the bases loaded, we'll see what he can do. Only 1 out. Here's a pitch. That's going to be outside and low as Jason Elrod watches that one go by for a ball. We're in the top of the 4th. 17-0 is your score. That's going to be inside, down, and a ball. So 2-0 now. And that's going to be hit into shallow center field. And shortstop's going to grab that one for out number 2. No run is going to come in there as Coach held all the runners. So the base is still loaded. So back to the top of the lineup. Number 2, Brenton Clark is going to step in. And the windup and the pitch for Powell. It's going to be high and outside for ball 1. Powell looks and brings the pitch. That's going to be hit down the first base line, but it's going to go right to Plunkett. And, Plunkett's going to step on the bag for out number 3. 1 run does come across, though, and brings the score 17-0. So it's kind of like the last hurrah. The Eagles are down to the last outs. Unless they get some runs on the board, I believe this might do it. But we're going to see. Again, I have seen stranger things happen in baseball, so I am not ever going to count anybody out until that final out happens. So I tell you what, you don't go anywhere, I won't go anywhere. We'll watch this thing play out however it may do. So thank you for watching. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. We're going to take a short break. Today's playoff game is brought to you by Azalea Orthopedics.
Have you sustained a bone, joint, work, or sports injury? Problems with mobility or movement? Suffer with pain? Contact Azalea Orthopedics. Our specialists serve patients across East Texas. For proven, trusted medical care, you have a choice. Demand Azalea.
And we are back. Excuse me. Coach is having a little talk with the umpire. Looks like we're going to make some changes to the batting order here, or to some batters. And looks like number 18, Talon Piccoli, he is a senior, is going to take in some swings here. And not only that, we got a pitching change for the Hawks. I believe that is number 11. And Luke Flanagan, the sophomore, is going to be pitching. I'm trying to verify that real quick as best I can. Yeah, that's Luke Flanagan. So he's going to be a new pitcher. I'm going to finish out the game, I'm guessing. But it looks like so Coach Sanguinetti is going to try to get some of his seniors some play here. So here's the first pitch. He's going to square on for a bunt. And heading off Piccoli. And we got a base runner. A great job and a great bunt. Puts a runner on first. So a base hit by Talon Piccoli. And that'll bring number 17, Carter Fleming, freshman, to the plate. And Carter watches that one go by high for a ball. So maybe that'll be a good light right there to ignite something for the Eagles. As they have to get 8 runs. I mean, at least 6 runs to keep from a 15-run rule. That's going to be Excuse me, 3 runs. They have to get at least 3 runs. Math is hard, okay? So we got 2-1 is the count. Make that 3-1. And here's the pitch. That's going to be a fly ball. It is playable. And that one looked like Walker Wright called everybody off as Jared Halter kind of slid back to get out of the way. And 1 down, so the Eagles, barring any runs, are down to their final 2 outs. Number 13, Colby Myers, is going to step in. His first at bat of the game. That's going to be outside for a ball. Here's pitch. And that one's in there for a strike. Looks a little low, but could be just my angle here. And here's the pitch. And that's going to be a high fly ball in the right center field. The right fielder has a break on it, and Walker comes and grabs and tries to get the double play and doesn't do it. Good heads-up play by Talon Piccoli, to get back to first base. He thought it was going to drop, but it did not. And now 2 down. And Caleb Hart is going to step in. And that's going to be foul tipped back.
Let's go, Caleb.
And a high, good hit ball into center field, but it's straight to Brenton Clark. For out number 3, and kind of waiting on and I'm guessing no, I was wrong. The 15 after 4 rule is not enforced in playoffs, so looks like we are going to go to another inning. And so the Eagles are still in it. And I think they're doing it to allow some of the seniors to get out there and have a little fun, have their time in the sun. And I like that. So we are going to stick with it as well and head on to the top of the 5th here at Woods Field. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The Northeast Texas Sports Network is dedicated on delivering the most entertaining sports broadcasts in East Texas. And if you're interested in having your next sporting event streamed live, visit us online at NETsn.live.
And we are back. Drew Walters, number 18, sophomore, is up to bat. That's going to catch the outside corner for a strike.
There you go.
Here's a pitch. Swung on and missed. And that's going to be a strikeout. Strike number, out number 1. Pardon me. So number 20, Jamarian Richardson, the speed demon. He was a courtesy runner earlier in this game and in yesterday's game, and he has the Jets. He can run. He is a freshman. And here's the pitch. That's on the outside corner for a strike. Here comes the pitch. That's on the outside corner, but that's called a ball. Here's the pitch. That's swung on and missed. A good cut by Richardson. And another cut. And that's out number 2. And Fleming has 2 strikeouts as senior Garrett Harrison, number 10, for Pleasant Grove, steps up to the plate. Here's the pitch. That's going to be fouled back overhead here. And strike number 1. I do like the fact that they're not doing the 15 run here in the playoffs. They're going to allow another inning. Pleasant Grove getting a lot of their backup players in. Lindale going to get some of their backup players in, allow them some playing time. So that's a good opportunity for both teams to do that. That's fouled off for strike number 2. So a good look by both teams there to do that. And here's the pitch by Fleming. That's going to be on the outside corner for a strikeout. So 3 up, 3 down. 3 strikeouts, tires the side. And we're on to the bottom of the 5th. And this one could very well, I believe, is going to end it here, barring 8 runs by the Eagles. And another pitcher is coming in. I believe that's number 3, senior Hunter Digby for Pleasant Grove. He's going to come in and pitch. And a lot of different players on the field here, I believe. I'm looking around, trying to see if there is for the Hawks. So and the crowd for Lindale getting in it. They're talking to, or they're cheering on their players here. Jackson Parker, freshman, he's going to lead things off. Got a lot of cheering there. So Coach Sanguinetti's talking to the umpire about probably some of the batting changes we got. Crowd is sticking around. Actually, most of the Lindale faithful has moved down to the net over by the Lindale dugout talking to their players. I do like seeing that. One thing I have noticed for both Lindale and Pleasant Grove is they have very good fans, faithful fans that stick with it till the end. Win, lose, or tie, no matter what. So that's always a wonderful thing to see in high school sports, in any sports, but especially high school sports. And I will speak for Brett on that. One of the reasons we do what we do is we love the players, these high school athletes, student athletes who put forth so much effort and time to do this week in and week out and keep their studies up. It is wonderful for us to be able to watch and present to you guys. So it's joy to see the fans encouraging them and sticking with them. So here we go. It's game time here. Jackson Parker is going to step up. He's a freshman for Lindale, so I'm sure we'll see him around over the next few years. Here's the first pitch for Hunter Digby, number 3 for Pleasant Grove. He's a senior, and that's going to be strike 1. And here's the windup and the pitch. That's going to be high, says the umpire, for ball 1. 1-1 now the count. Digby gets the sign. And the windup with the pitch. Good breaking ball, but low, says the umpire. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. On the outside for a ball. That's going to be a good hit over, and Spencer Browning is there for out number 1. And next up, number 12, Landon Sullivan, a senior, will step in. Digby gets it. And here's the pitch. In there for a strike, says Mr. Umpire, and strike number 1 it is. Digby with the windup and the pitch, and that's going to be hit foul. My coach used to say, you straighten that out, you have a good hit. So 0-2 the count now. Digby looks in, gets the sign with the windup, and here's the pitch. And that's going to be hit, fouled back. And the count remains 0-2. And one of the little bat boys over there for Lindale tries to throw it back. Getting some encouragement from the fans. So no balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be fouled back. So Landon Sullivan is not going quietly. He is behind the count, but he's been behind the count for a few pitches now. He's fouled those back. Here's a pitch. And hits that one. And it goes back foul as well. Here's a pitch. And that's going to bounce in the other batter's box for a ball. Trying to get Sullivan to chase. Here's a pitch. And that's swung on and fouled back. He reached out on that one, did chase, but luckily got a little something on it. Here's the pitch. That's going to be hit, but foul once again. So again, Sullivan just sticking to it. And here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. And that's strike number 3 for out number 2. So a good battle there at bat. But Digby comes out victorious. Aiden Warnell is up to bat. He's a sophomore. So possible final out of the ball game. But not if Warnell has anything to say about it. Here's the pitch. That's going to be high for a ball. Digby with pitch. That's going to be in there for a strike. Good pitch by Digby. Puts that one right in there. Digby from the stretch. Here's the kick and the pitch. That's going to be over for a strike as well. So here's the final strike of the ball game, possibly. As Warnell awaits. And the pitch. Swung on, missed. No tip, says, yeah, he did tip it because it went off in the other direction. I'm sitting behind a high little table here, so I couldn't see that fly off the end of the bat. So 1-2 remains the count. Warnell remains in the batter's box. And the game remains, well, a game. Here's the pitch. That's going to be hit, fouled back. And we got another battle ensuing here. High for a ball, so 2-2 now the count. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be a fly ball into left field, and it's going to drop fair, and Warnell is going to make a base hit out of it. And Lindale is not ready to go home yet. And Aiden Warnell gets to first base. Luke Wagner now is going to step in. And Wagner steps in. Warnell takes a couple of steps off. Nobody guarding first base, so they're not even worried about him. That one's going to be a good breaking ball, but a little bit too far into the left-handed batter's box, and it's going to be ball 1. Little high, ball 2. Here's the pitch. And ball 3. So Digby, who started out doing pretty well, is now hitting a little bit of a rough patch here. Ball 4. And now 2 men on, 2 outs. And Caden Adams, the freshman, is going to step in. And once again, these Lindale Eagles are not ready to go home just yet. Swung on and missed for strike 1. Good cut by Adams. He was swinging for the fences on that one. Here's the pitch. Outside. Expected him to fish, but no bait. And 1-1. Here comes the pitch. And that's inside. Almost hit him. And that'll make it 2-1 the count. And here comes the pitch. And that's swung on to the outside, so that'll even the count. So here's fun to say. We have 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and 2 on. So final out, final strike, possible final at bat. And there it is. And the ball game is over as the Pleasant Grove Hawks advance to the regional semifinals. And that's the ball game. I want to give a big shout out and congratulations to the Lindale Eagles for a fantastic season. District champions, and they made it to the regional quarterfinals. Played a great season. Good luck to all the seniors. It's a young team, so they will be back. And congratulations to the Pleasant Grove Hawks for a fantastic season, and good luck to them next week as they play Salina. It's going to be a tough road ahead of them. And that's going to do it for me here at Woods Field. I want to appreciate everybody who's still left with me. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for watching and listening on YouTube Live. Go ahead and, or NETsn Live on our YouTube channel. Go ahead and like and subscribe so you don't miss a minute of action. This is our first year of doing baseball, and really first year of doing a lot of stuff here, and it's just good things yet to come. We're excited to bring it. But right now, I want to just wish Pleasant Grove good luck and safe travels back home for both teams and both sets of fans. And I hope all of you have a good weekend. And I want to just say this to all the graduates. Good luck to all of you student athletes and all the students that are going to graduate. Good luck to you in your future. And I hope that you all have a fantastic next week and a fantastic summer. We will probably have some games next week. I'm not quite sure. Brett and I are both involved in schools ourselves, and we have graduations to work and do ourselves next week. But we are going to try to get some games in if we can next week, and then continue on with the playoffs as well. But we do have graduations next week, and we want to congratulate all of the high school graduates from around the Northeast Texas area, and say good job to you and good luck to you in the future. I am through here at Woods Field on the campus of East Texas Baptist University. Thank you to East Texas Baptist University for the hospitality up here in the wonderful press box. I hope all of you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next time for good playoff baseball. Y'all have a good weekend.